Is it better to rent a house or an apartment or buy a home, townhouse, or condo? In this video, I will share with you the pros and cons of buying and renting and to help you decide which option is better for your situation. And if you stick around till the end, I will share with you a compelling reason not to wait if you decide to buy, and we're getting after it right now. If you're new to this channel and would like to know everything about living in Lake Arrowhead, buying or selling your home in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you will be the first to know about the current market in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities. My name is Alma Borsig with the Living in Lake Arrowhead California team. We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking to buy or sell their home in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're making your move in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We're here ready to help the buying or selling of your home in Lake Arrowhead and the surrounding San Bernardino mountain communities a smooth and stress-free experience. So I will first start with the cons of buying a home, which then translates to a pro in renting a home. So the first con of buying a house is the high initial cost. When you're owning a home, it typically requires a substantial upfront investment, which includes a down payment and also the closing costs. On the other hand, it becomes a pro for renting. So our first pro for renting is the lower initial cost. Renting often requires lower upfront costs compared to buying a home because all you need is a security deposit and the first month's rent, and you don't need the big down payment and closing costs when you are looking to buy a home. So now the second con of owning a home is the maintenance responsibilities. Homeowners are responsible for maintenance and repairs, which can be costly and time-consuming, and this includes tasks such as landscaping, plumbing repairs, and appliance replacements, among other things. But on the other hand, this translates to pro number 2 for renting, and this is no maintenance responsibilities. So one of the significant advantages of renting is that tenants are not responsible for property maintenance and repairs. Landlords are typically responsible for addressing issues such as plumbing problems, appliance malfunctions, and structural repairs. And this relieves renters of the financial burden and inconvenience of these tasks. So now, con number 3 of owning a home is market risk. Homeowners are exposed to fluctuations in the real estate market, which can affect the property values and the homeowner's equity on their house. If the economy tanks or changes in the local market conditions happen, it can impact the resale value of the property. Now, on the flip side, this is a pro number 3 of renting, and it is minimal financial risk. Renting reduces financial risk compared to home ownership because renters are not tied to a mortgage loan and they are not at risk of losing equity on their property if property values go down. Okay, so now con number 4 of owning a home is property taxes and insurance. Homeowners are responsible for property taxes and homeowners insurance, which can increase housing costs and add to the financial burden of home ownership. So now the flip side is it becomes a pro for renting because you have lower insurance costs. Renters typically pay lower insurance premiums compared to homeowners because renters insurance is generally less expensive than homeowners insurance because it only covers personal belongings and liability rather than the structure of the property itself. So in addition, renters do not have to worry about property taxes at all, which means a lot less financial obligations when you are a renter. So now we're at con number 5. So con number 5, home ownership is less flexibility. Owning a home can limit your flexibility because as a homeowner, you may be less able to relocate for work or personal reasons because you will need to go through the hassle of selling your property. On the other hand, this is a pro, number 5 for renting. And as a renter, you have greater flexibility. Renting provides greater flexibility in terms of mobility. If you need to relocate for work or personal reasons, you can typically do so without the hassle of selling a property. And this flexibility is especially beneficial for people who anticipate frequent changes in their living situation. So our last con number 6 of home ownership is risk of foreclosure. Homeowners with mortgage loans are at risk of foreclosure if they are unable to keep up with mortgage payments. This could happen if, say, you are laid off from work or, God forbid, a serious illness or even death in the family that negatively impacts your income. This can result in the loss of property and damage to your credit, which will then affect your ability to purchase in the future. Needless to say, a renter does not have to worry about being foreclosed on. So pro number 6 of renting is fixed housing costs. Renters have fixed housing costs for the duration of their lease agreement, making budgeting more predictable. Unlike homeowners who may face unexpected expenses for repairs, for example, renters can anticipate their monthly housing expenses without worrying about fluctuations within the life of their current lease. So now let's start with the pros of home ownership, which then translates to a con of renting. So remember, the first con of home ownership is high initial cost, which actually this can be translated into a pro. So now the pro of the high initial cost of buying a home, particularly the down payment, translates to our first pro number 1, which is building equity. When you own a house, you are building equity with that initial down payment. And then with every mortgage payment that you make, you're also continuing to build equity. And this equity can be used as leverage for future investments or as a source of wealth. Now, correspondingly, this is con number 1 of renting, and that is lack of equity building. Unlike home ownership, renting does not build equity because rent payments go toward the landlord's mortgage, and so it doesn't provide any long-term financial benefit to the renter. And so con number 2 is no long-term investment in renting. That's con number 2 in renting, because renting does not offer the opportunity to build long-term wealth through the appreciation of the value of your home. So rent payments do not contribute to home ownership or provide a return on investment. So now the second pro of owning your home is the freedom to customize. Homeowners have the freedom to customize and personalize their living space according to their preferences. This includes renovations, landscaping, interior design choices, which you may not be able to do when you're renting. So that translates to the con number 3 of renting, and that is limited control over the property. Renters have limited control over their home because they must adhere to the landlord's rules and restrictions, and this limits their ability to customize or renovate their living space according to their preferences. And also renters cannot freely do renovations such as painting walls, installing fixtures, or making structural changes like maybe adding a deck, which limit their ability to create a home environment that reflects their personality and their preferences. And landlords may also impose restrictions on pets, smoking, subletting, and other activities. And this limits the renter's lifestyle choices and their freedom within their home. And now there's also another con related to this. Con number 4 of renting is the dependency on the landlord. Renters are dependent on their landlord for maintenance and repairs, so delays or neglect in addressing issues such as plumbing problems, heating, cooling failures, or structural issues can negatively impact the quality of life for a renter, because oftentimes you have to wait for the landlord to take action. So now I have pro number 3 of home ownership, and I will also include pro number 4 and 5 because they are related. And so pro number 3 of home ownership is stability and security. And what does this mean? It means that home ownership provides a sense of stability and security because you know that you have a place to call your own. And pro number 4 of home ownership is stable housing cost. Homeowners with fixed rate mortgages, like say a 15-year or a 30-year fixed rate loan, they have stable housing costs over the term of the loan, and knowing what your monthly payments for the life of the loan can make budgeting and financial planning easier. And then pro number 5 of home ownership is that if you plan to live in your home for a long time, like 5 years or more, there is the pro number 5 of long-term investment. And this counters the market risk con that I mentioned earlier, because real estate has historically been a reliable long-term investment because property values tend to appreciate over time. And so it provides you, the homeowner, potential financial gains when you decide to sell your home a few years down the line. So there's a benefit to staying in your home. The longer you stay, the better the financial gains. So now let's go back to the cons of renting, which is the flip side of the pros of home ownership that I just mentioned. And con number 5 of renting is the potential for rent increases. So renters are subject to potential rent increases, typically 3% a year. And this increase can affect the affordability of your housing, and it may be that it will require you to relocate if you cannot afford the higher rent. And then con number 6 of renting in relation to potential rent increases is that it is the uncertainty of your tenure, because landlords may choose not to renew your lease, or the landlord may decide to sell the property. And so you as a renter now have typically 60 days to move out to find alternative housing. And this can be disrupted and not to mention stressful. But if you own your home, you don't have to worry about this, as you have more control over your living situation. So I'm actually done with the cons of renting. I had 6 cons, but I have 4 more pros of home ownership. So to continue, pro number 6 of home ownership is the tax benefits. The tax advantage is that homeowners can use mortgage interest payments, property taxes, and certain home improvements as deductions. And these tax benefits can help reduce the overall cost of owning a home. And now we have Pro number 7 is a sense of community. Owning a home can foster a stronger sense of community and belonging within a neighborhood because homeowners often develop deeper connections with their neighbors and become more invested in the well-being of the community. And now we have pro number 8, and it is legacy and generational wealth. Home ownership allows people to leave a tangible asset to their heirs, and this contributes to the creation of generational wealth. In an earlier con of home ownership, I mentioned that you may suddenly need to relocate and it's really hard if you are a homeowner. But there's a flip side to that because you don't necessarily need to sell your home. If you are able, you can make your home that you are relocating from as an income producing rental. And this can also contribute to your legacy and generational wealth. And this can provide financial stability and opportunities for your children, for your future generations. Now, the last pro number 9 of home ownership is, of course, a sense of pride and achievement. Owning a home can instill that sense of pride and achievement because it represents a significant milestone in your life and it symbolizes financial responsibility and success for most of us. So those are the pros of home ownership. 9 pros and then the 6 cons of renting. So it looks like there are more benefits to home ownership than renting. So if after hearing all the pros and cons of home ownership, buying a home versus the pros and cons of renting, you decide that it is best to purchase a home, then stick around till the end of the video because I will share with you compelling reason why you have decided to purchase a home that it is best not to wait. But before that, I want to remind you that I am a local realtor in Lake Arrowhead and I cover the surrounding San Bernardino Mountain communities. So if you're looking to buy, feel free to call, text, or email me. I am here ready to help you find that perfect mountain home. And be sure to check my other videos where I feature homes that are available for purchase on the mountain and also the different neighborhoods in the different communities on the mountain. And subscribe to my channel and tap the bell for notifications so you will be alerted when I post a new video, and I post a new video weekly. So you've decided to purchase a home, but right now you are waiting because we are on election year and people are saying that interest rates are most likely going to go down later in the year. But the problem with that is that everybody else is doing the same thing. Everybody is waiting for interest rates to go down. And so when they do go down, now everybody is back in the market in finding to purchase a home. Whatever you've saved in the lower interest rate, you actually lose because now you'll be in a bidding war in most of the nicer homes that you are looking to buy because everybody wants the same homes. So you do have a lower interest rate, but then you have to raise your offer in order to win a house over others when you are in a bidding war. So whatever gain you got in the lower interest rate, you actually lose because now you have to purchase a home at a much higher price. The best thing is to actually start looking for homes, and if you happen to find the perfect home right now, then you should go for it, and there's no need to wait for interest rate to go down because, as I said, if you wait, then you'll be competing with other buyers and you'll end up paying more for your dream home. So now I want to share this graph. This is something I already shared in an earlier video, but I want to share it again in case you didn't see that video on one more compelling reason why you shouldn't wait to buy a home. And this graph will show you why. The typical first-time home buyer is 33 years old. So now if you go back to when those 33-year-olds were born, so 30 years ago, that would be around the 80s. And specifically, it will be in around 1988, so the late 80s. Babies that were born in 1988 around here are now about 33 years old. They turned 33 years old in 2021. And if you notice, from 1988 all the way to about 1993, this is the U.S. population growth rate graph. You can see that the growth rate went up quite drastically from 1988 to 1993. So what does that mean? It means that all the babies born from 88 all the way to 1993, every year they are all turning around 33 years old, which means that they are now the first time the demographics that are looking to buy their first home. So now, as you can see, every year from 2021, which is 33 years old, born in 1988, every year there's going to be more and more of this first-time home buyers, average of 33 years old, up to around 1993. So that means if you are waiting, then every year you'll be competing with more and more first-time home buyers for the next 3 more years up to like 2026. And we already have a deficit of homes. The new construction hasn't really caught up with the demand for homes that home buyers are looking to buy. So that's one real good reason why, if you are looking to buy a home, then you shouldn't wait, because the more you wait, in the next 3 years, you'll be competing with more buyers. And simple economics, more buyers, not enough homes, prices are likely going to go up. And so you don't want that. You want to buy now than later. So here's another graph that I'd like to share. I also shared this in a previous video, but it shows, it's the U.S. National Home Price Index graph, which shows how home prices have gone up from the 1990s all the way to 2020s up to today. So one thing I want to point out is that if you notice, even though there are some fluctuations along the way, you see all these bumps, prices go up and down along the way. Overall, home prices are on an uptrend. That's one more reason why I want to show this graph, is that if you are in for the long term, it's best to buy your home the sooner the better, because the longer you wait, you are missing out on the appreciation of your home. And one more thing I want to point out is that if you notice, there's this bump right here. And that is in 2006. You remember home prices were at their peak in 2006. And then we had the big crash in 2008. So this is when the crash happened. But one thing I want to point out is that even if you bought your home in 2006, if you waited it out, you did not sell your home, you're still in your home. And if you look present day in the 2023-24, you can see that whatever you lost during the crash of 2008, you more than gain present day, because your 2006 top of the graph price is now much lower than current prices. So that's one more reason I wanted to show this graph to show you that it doesn't make sense. It's not wise to wait. If you have decided to buy your home, then you should do it as soon as you find that perfect home that fits all your needs. So that's our video for today. I hope the information is real helpful to you, and I hope to see you in my next video. And until then, bye for now.